Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Janine and I are
everybody.
here together. So we're really excited and we're going to dive into some really deep subjects today. Do you want to bring up the first one today, Janine, that we talked about?
Well, I think used the word fractal, and
Yes.
that was a new word for me. I've kind of heard it, but I never really knew what it was about. So I got a feeling a lot of people would want to know what you mean when you say fractal. Can you, I'm just going to turn this light around here. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so most of us understand that we've had lifetimes before. But in actuality, time doesn't exist. So we have parallel lives going on. And a lot of them are healing right now because we're going through ascension. And I show this pine cone a lot because it really helps show what that is. So we actually have an oversoul. So the oversoul would be all of your fractals together. So each little tine or little piece would be a lifetime that you're living and a different aspect of you. So some of these aspects might be more negative, some might be more traumatized, some might be really good, some might be building planets. Doesn't matter. But as they heal and as we need them, because Earth is the biggest thing going on in the universe right now, they're coming in. They're coming in and joining with us. So your oversoul is the biggest part of you, and those fractals are coming in to help you with your ascension process right now and to help Earth too.
And you were mentioning, and how we even got to the topic was you reminded me that in Ireland, I gained a fractal. Is that how you said it? Yeah. So it was,
Gain a new fractal.
yeah, it joined me or somehow came to help me. And I believe it was emotional because it was a heart chakra thing. Just as I was leaving that sacred site, and we talked about it last time, and it still feels like I'm still experiencing heightened emotional ability, I'm going to say. Like, so it's not that I'm emotional all the time. It's not like that. It's more like when I'm faced with emotional situations. And by the way, as soon as I got back, I had a really huge emotional situation I had to deal with a long, long time friend. And it really helped me. And I think it came in Ireland, maybe my higher self knowing that I was going to face that when I got home. And it helped me be more detached, also get over it quicker, and to sort of see it from a bigger vantage point. So I feel like I'm more mature emotionally and handled it better emotionally. So I'm really thankful for that, having come, having that experience in Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful. And you talked about it quite a bit afterwards. And your body got warm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Um,
radiated out. It was like I was a bigger being or something. Yeah, it was
yeah,
interesting.
because you are. So we're getting bigger in our consciousness right now. And a lot of people call it an upgrade
Mhm.
too. So I think
Yeah.
that's important. And
A
gifts
lot
come
of
in with that.
There's a lot of talk about upgrades. In fact, every other person that I'm listening to mentions upgrades and mentions they're more intuitive. I'm seeing it all over the internet as well, social medias, people getting on there, even on TikTok. They're talking about how intuitive they are. Like it seems like it's a real buzz right now where people are noticing that their intuition has heightened. And I've been talking about that for a few years. Okay. And we'll get into it a little later, one of the reasons why that could be happening. But I feel like it's just a timing consciousness thing. I feel like it's an evolution thing. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so too. I think we've moved into a higher frequency as a collective,
Yeah.
and now we're basically absorbing more of ourselves, like we're available for upgrade. And we're actually able to see what those things are too. There's this guy from the past, and I don't know if he's still alive anymore. And he used to do what was called quantum jumping.
Mm.
And he had his whole business was built around quantum jumping. And he would go and he would experience a parallel life. And then he would basically integrate the information.
Mm.
He wasn't integrating the parallel life, but he learned how to play guitar. He learned how to paint. He learned how to do different businesses. And he really thrived because he was going and checking into his parallel lives
Wow.
through meditation. But now we're absorbing them.
Wow. So how would that feel different, absorbing them? He was just what, visually, or he was experiencing them in a detached way,
Yeah.
and we're sort of taking it in, maybe?
Yeah, we're taking it in completely. So we're taking in that piece of consciousness from our oversoul.
Mhm.
So, like, you just got a new fractal and it helped you with your emotional state. I actually just got a new fractal and it helped me with like my calm of my nervous system.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
that's a good one.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my nervous system was getting a little fried from what's going on energetically right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think everybody's was, like, all the comments I was getting and people emailing me. It was a real crescendo of, everybody felt they were going crazy, but that's really calmed down. So maybe a lot of people got that fractal, or a part of it, or some version of it. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, because all of us have aspects of that. So you would get a piece from your oversoul. And your oversoul is like the biggest part of you. And I saw a picture the other day from TikTok, and I don't think I shared it yet, but basically there was this being and it was touching Earth. And Earth seriously was like this big.
Wow.
So the being was really big, and that's how big your oversoul is, and Earth is really small. So we're kind of like Whoville here on Earth,
Hmm.
if you think about it.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
yeah,
I had an experience years ago, like years ago, had to be 30 years ago, where I was working with a medicine man on Haida Gwaii. I was on Haida Gwaii raising my daughter, and I spent some time with this medicine man, Haida fellow, and Nunkithka, that was what we called him, but he had his English name as well. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, and he sort of took me on all these exercises, these mental exercises. And one of them was to face my biggest fear, which was darkness, to be honest, like being out in the dark. So I used to sleep a lot with my lights on, and I just wasn't comfortable with really darkness. Okay, so he wanted me to get over that. And actually, I'm still over it because of the work we did together. Okay, so long story short, for weeks and weeks leading up, he would take me out, we'd go for a walk. So I'd arrange childcare because my daughter was, about 5 or something, 4 maybe. And I would arrange someone to stay overnight. Like, I had lots of good friends on Haida Gwaii, and they'd come and stay overnight. And then we'd go out really late when it was dark and go for a walk in the dark. And this was leading up to, so we went through full moon phase, and then it was heading to a new moon. Okay, and I didn't realize he was using the moon phases. Okay, so Haida Gwaii doesn't have a lot of light. We don't have overhead lights on the highways, and even then it was even less. But we literally, you could drive the one road through all the all the communities. You can drive on one road through them, and there's only one set of lights on the whole island, so there's no light pollution. So we would walk to these places. They were nature places, right by a cliff in particular. So he took me on this walk, and there was a cliff and a bit of a fall, and then the ocean. You could hear the ocean. Okay, and we started out on the full moon, so I could see where I was going. So we got really used to the walk. So it got darker and darker as we were leading up to a new moon. And then on the night of the new moon, he dropped me off and said he'd meet me at the end of the trail that we would take. And now I'm alone, and I wasn't expecting him to do that. Okay, we'd philosophize on all those walks. And, of course, I wasn't fearful because I was walking with this medicine man. And then he dropped me, and I was to meet him. And it was pitch black. You could hear the ocean on one side of me, where I'm along a trail that's along a cliff. So a bit of a drop. Like the cliffs aren't that big in the Haida Gwaii, but there is a few drops into the ocean. Anyway, I was on one of those. So I'm walking and he leaves. I can see his car pulls out and he's gone. And I'm left alone to walk the walk. Okay. And I got so fearful at first that I couldn't even think straight. And then I sort of pulled in my energy and just breathed like he had been doing with me when we were on the walks. And I remembered some of the things we talked about. And then all of a sudden, some night vision clicked in. So it was really weird, a night vision. And I could see perfectly in the night. And I could also see that I was a hologram. Okay, so I'm a
Mm.
hologram and I'm walking along this cliff. And all of a sudden, I was really enjoying the walk because I could see my hologram. I was watching leaves float through me. It was totally wild. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, my hologram self lifted up, and I became, or I ended up, or I felt like I was all of a sudden dispersed through what I'm going to say is the Milky Way. All of a sudden it looked like what we've been taught is the Milky Way. So it had that stars, but also like kind of milky, you know what I mean? Like where it looks like there could be like even liquid or something. And I was in the universe. So I saw my outline down below, but it was see through. And I was gone. My consciousness was in what I'm going to call the Milky Way. And I was dispersed almost like it felt like through the whole universe. And the thing I noticed was I was really detached, first of all. And the feelings were really detached. And I was observing everything, but not necessarily feeling anything. I was observing. And I started to really miss being in my body. Like I had this overwhelming feeling that I got to get back in my body. And I didn't want to be, it was like I was all knowing. So I knew everything but nothing, if that makes any sense. So I knew everything, but I didn't really care about anything. So I didn't really like it, wasn't that interesting. I got to be honest. I was like, this isn't, I don't want to just know everything and nothing matters. Nothing mattered. That was what it was.
Right.
I was totally detached. And I was like, I've had this overwhelming feeling like I'm not ready to give up that emotional drama of the earth plane. That's kind of how later I put it together that that's what it was. So
Yeah.
I wasn't literally thinking that at the time, but for some reason I was desperate to get back in my body. So I literally squished back in. So when you say we're like the earth's this little, yeah, we're huge because my energy was as big as the Milky Way or the universe. And then I like fit back into my body, and I could see the leaves and things. It was kind of like just at the end of the summer, so I could feel the leaves floating right through my hologram. I stopped being a hologram. It was like I embodied myself again. I finished the walk, and I rolled on the ground when I was at the end of the walk while I was waiting for him to catch up, right? Because he was driving to where the end of the walk was. And
Yeah.
he was giving me some time to have the experience. I think he knew I was going to have an experience of some kind. I was rolling on the ground and like almost like kissing the earth. I was so happy to be back in my body, even though it was a tight fit. So I get what you're saying. And I was the happiest from that point on, I knew we're way bigger than we think we are, first of all. And I knew that dark is nothing to fear. When we need it, our night vision can kick in, like, and we're way more powerful than we like. Everything changed at that point for me. I was a lot better at helping my clients. Like, I was reading tarot at the time. I was just more, it's like I spiritually evolved to really understanding what we
Mhm.
really are. It was fascinating. But yeah, the swishing back in and making ourselves small to be here, because we're huge
Yeah.
energies.
I love that experience. That's a fabulous experience. To me, it's like you went out and you knew that you were everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you knew all the aspects of you were all over the
Yeah.
place. And your aspect was like, I got to go back.
Yeah.
It's no fun here. It's boring here. Right?
Yeah.
Because we do know everything. And that's why we can pull in so much information too, because we've got like the biggest portion of us is up there, still kind of just floating.
Yeah. You can never underestimate how good it is here, even though all the drama exists. So I
I know.
understand, and now I understand even more clearly that this can be a dangerous place or feel dangerous. But in reality, our soul chose to be here, and it is an experience, and we'll live beyond the experience regardless what happens. And we're way bigger than that, and this is just a drop in the bucket of experiences. But it's also like full of fascination for me now. It was always fascinating, but after that experience, I really appreciate the drama and fascination. And not that I'm looking for drama, but I can have a detachment with it and maybe enjoy the ride a little more. And a lot of the way I handle things, even in the truther community, I feel like I can utilize that knowledge, and I tap into it a lot. So it does help me feel like, you know what, the bigger picture here is the thing to keep a grip on.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're consciousness experiencing ourselves basically and sending all that experience back out
Yeah.
into the universe. So it's really cool that you had that and you could see, because I had an experience with my soul where I saw my soul. And then a year later, I realized that was my soul. It took me that long to acknowledge it. And then I saw my soul in the astral plane. And we're just enormous.
Yeah.
And we do have form. And
Yeah.
you didn't have form in that moment when you were like dispersed,
Yeah.
but we do have form and we do look humanoid. A
Wow.
lot of us,
Yeah.
I mean, just like ETs look humanoid, we have arms and legs and a head, like we look similar. I won't say we look exactly alike because we don't. Every species is slightly different.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's very fun. I think all this stuff is fun to me.
Yeah.
So,
Fascinating.
yeah. So do you want to talk about what's going on with Mr. Atlas?
Oh yeah. When you say that, you talk like you sound like you're thinking there's an energy named Atlas. And you mentioned something like that. I'm curious what you mean by that.
Okay, so Atlas is also a being.
Mm.
And so think about Atlantis. Atlantis was his divine partner, and Atlas was, you know, the masculine version. So they were basically a split being, and that's how you create your divine partner. So that's someone you can always trust, you can always understand,
Mm.
and it's very easy. So a lot of the relationship stuff on Earth has been very distorted and very ridiculous,
Mhm.
honestly, because
Yeah.
a divine partner is very easy to be with.
Yeah.
But we were still really polarized when Atlantis existed,
Mhm.
and she was kind of the keeper of that whole society. So we have to remember we're in a organic matrix.
Mm.
That's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
basically, when Atlantis fell, she got kind of shattered as a soul. And Atlas went into a tailspin
Mm.
and he created the ice age out of all of his sadness.
Oh.
So once that was over, just recently he's healed because Atlantis finally healed.
Mm.
Because we're in this massive ascension process, and it's not just Earth, it's everything
Mm.
that's ascending. So we're all changing and growing right now, but he's bringing back divine codes. And I thought it was really funny because France just introduced this statue that they're going to give to the US, and it's like the 250-year anniversary of the Statue of Liberty.
Mm.
And it's Atlas holding the earth, looking extremely muscular and
Right.
holding the earth in the air.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, how ironic
Very
that that's going
interesting.
on.
And timing
Yeah.
wise, yeah. And
So that's going
interesting
on
holding
as
the earth.
well.
Do you think it's like referencing some kind of protection energy towards Earth, or what are you getting around that?
I think so. I get that they are so Earth and Atlas are basically sibling souls
Hmm.
because in the astral plane within the consciousness we call source or God or whatever, we have family trees as well. So
Wow.
all the beings that are created have family trees just like we do on Earth.
Hmm.
So that's a
Fascinating.
good one.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So is the thing that they're calling Three Eye Atlas, or is it like a metaphor or like a version of that energy coming back to Earth? What are you saying about that? The actual, is there a physical thing heading to Earth, or is that something that's created to almost get everybody talking and thinking about this?
I think so. I think it's the creation of the manifestation of ET contact.
Ah, yeah.
Um, and I think that there's lots and lots of ships.
Mhm.
And I think that they have a coordinated effort, I think, with the ETs, that they're basically ready for contact. And it's going to be up to us, kind of, when that happens. I think as a collective, they're always checking the consciousness.
Yeah.
So I think it's soon, and I don't think it will be scary,
Mhm.
really, for most of us. Most of us will be like, oh, finally happened. I see them on TV and, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think they are choosing a ship
Mm.
right now, which ship they're going to show.
Wow.
And Japan had a ship that they showed. So they'll probably make it similar looking to that.
Was that, I never saw that. Like, where did
Yeah,
you,
it's like
where did you
this
see it?
elongated thing that
Uh-huh.
almost looks like a kind of like a tower or like an office building that's been, turned on its side and it's flying,
Yeah.
but it's got smooth,
Mm.
tapered, I guess is the word, tapered
Okay.
top and bottom,
Yeah.
and you can see little lights on it.
Wow. And
Pretty
somehow
cool.
Japan captured that image.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So is
interesting,
that real?
interesting who captured the image. I mean, it's weird and interesting that Trump's in Japan right now.
Yes.
Very interesting. Everything is all tied together. There's no coincidences, huh? Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think
No,
there's any coincidences.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
So I don't know. What have you been getting about Atlas just recently?
Well, I keep getting that we need boundaries and self-love to face whatever energy is coming from it, or the arrival of the energy in our field of interest, let's say. Okay, so it might not be in our field technically. and like according to people's calculations, it's really actually far away. I mean, if in fact those calculations are correct, I don't know if any of those numbers are correct. A lot of them are coming from NASA. We know NASA is a big psyop. I think NASA was taken over by the White Hat Alliance, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean they're not still using the brand, you know, for a psyop. I mean, the White Hats are pretty good at psyops as well, for various educational reasons, I'm thinking. But anyway, so it seems to me that there's still a lot of mystery, and the cards aren't necessarily getting really blunt about it. But they're absolutely saying this thing's a force to be reckoned with somehow, and is absolutely going to change a lot of things, bringing awareness just even by us all talking about it, if you think about that. So it's like just even by being in the news and even in the truther news, I feel like it's making everybody face, let's talk about these aliens, let's talk about dimensional beings, let's talk about someone did point out to me that flat earthers aren't talking about Three Eye Atlas, because of course it wouldn't fit into their sort of flat earth theory about, I mean, and that's just what I was told, and I'm not sure because I don't always keep up with what the flat earthers are saying. But I am confused about how that it fits into that theory. I feel like it's more of an energy presence, and it's maybe will manifest physically, literally to certain people because it needs to, but not maybe to everybody. And a lot of people are saying, no, every single person on earth is going to see something like a ship presents itself everywhere. I mean, that'll be fast. If that does happen, actually, I'm going to be really happy because I think we need something like that to get all eyes on the same thing. So all of this division, maybe as there's going to be some coming together between sort of what we're calling normies or regular folks and then the truther folks. So that would be interesting. I mean, that would be the best case scenario, but I'm not sure. So I'm really up in the air about what's going on, really.
Yeah, I think you're getting a lot of the two things crossing, it sounds like, with the cards. So I wonder if we ask, do you want to ask the cards a
Sure.
question?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I wonder if we ask, um, what does Three Eye Atlas, the ET experience, want to tell us?
Oh, all right. Yeah, maybe I'm looking too broad at it, maybe.
Maybe, but I think they're mixing each other.
Wow. The world.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fascinating. So I feel like this card is the end of something and the beginning of an all new world. Like you're literally on the threshold with this card, and this is us. We're on the threshold of a whole new world. Will never, so with the world, you never go back to where you were. So we're definitely, like, I feel like that's evolution. Okay, this card evolves you to, so you've done the work over here, whatever it was you were working on, maybe for lifetimes, and you're now moving to a whole nother situation. So that's definitely like an upgrade, and a whole new world we're going to be creating going forward. Maybe we've done what we needed to do, learning about, the dark energies controlling us, and there's so many things we've learned even in the last 5 years. For me, maybe I've been learning it slowly over a long time, but really came into focus in the last 5 or 6 years. Now this is interesting. So this would be the entity, as you put it, the entity that would be Three Eye Atlas. And that is actually coming in peaceful energy, connectedness. So there's a connectedness to it. Maybe even like giving us a little support while we move into this new world, because they know it's been really hard. So there's a supportive energy to it for sure.
Mm.
with that card. And this card says, because they know we've put ourselves in, because I said, why do we need support? This card. Okay, they know we've had ourselves in a difficult position, especially those in the know that the world is changing. Because a lot of people have no clue they're on the precipice of this whole new, things will never be the same. They're moving forward out of what's been and into something totally different. We're just not even going to be the same energies, you know what I mean, in a way. And it's been really hard. So this card says we've become enlightened through the hardship. Some people don't realize it yet. Or some people might not make it to over here, over to this new world. Some people will avoid going through that gateway. But for those who've done the work and gained the enlightenment and are willing to accept that, I feel like this energy is there somehow for support. And even the fact that a lot of people are feeling that upgrade, that does feel like it's support. Maybe they're even supporting us in um, being able to handle the upgrade, being able to acquire it, or somehow helping us with it. Because it's also affecting people in derogatory ways, like aches and pains. People are talking about buzzings in both ears, buzzings in one ear for days on end, not sleeping. Jean-Claude and I will talk a lot about some nights it's just nonstop wake up every few, every few hours or even every hour. Yeah, so it's been sort of a bit of a nightmare on one hand, and then at the same time, I don't know, some really good things are coming along as well. So I guess when you go to a whole nother level, there's some adjustment, obviously, to your body necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful reading. And to me, it feels completely accurate because one of the things I've been getting about the being atlas is that he's bringing back codes. So divine codes. So that would be upgrades. And he's not dependent on the sun. So those codes are coming in 24/7.
Ooh,
And we're waking up and we're irritated, or we're like some people are having emotional dramas going on, and some people are having physical drama. And then some people are just waking up a lot at night and kind of wondering what in the world is going on.
yeah,
And that's what's going on.
yeah. And there's a lot of health stuff too people are experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, um, should we talk about November?
Yeah, I think we better. Yeah.
Okay. I get November's going to be kind of the aftermath of October. So it's going to continue. What happens in October will continue into November. And I feel like it'll be softer, but it's still going to be really intense. I do think we'll be sleeping better in November.
Oh, good. I'm going to
So
pull
that would be good.
cards, 3 cards on November, because to be honest, I'm a
Yeah.
complete blank when I think about, I have no idea. I mean, it could go completely off the rails, even worse than October was, Red October.
Yeah.
Red October didn't disappoint.
Oh, no.
Still not disappointing. I feel like
It's
we've
not
got a few
disappointing.
events here. Yeah, coming right up. Let's have a look. I mean, we're on the 28th today.
Yeah.
So there, wow. Earth. So Earth, I think we're going to see some Earth moves. So that could be like hurricanes, volcanoes, shifting of Earth. Like this card can be tumultuous, but the good thing about it is, and it's physical, and she's Earth to me. So comfort, so some discomfort, maybe even some financial discomfort. Okay, like so on a more 3D level, people experiencing issues with their banking, and or the financial system. There could be that. Okay, and this and a real things get really uncomfortable around illusion. It's too hard to keep up your illusion. So, in a way, that's going to make a lot of kind of normies uncomfortable because they won't be able to. This card's a bit of a facade. See those two? They're all, everything's just rosy and everything's just perfect. And we know that beyond the surface of what appears to be the perfect family is often like some really big difficulties. And you know what I mean? This is the facade card. And so sometimes it's about good things, but sometimes it's about things being in a really good place, but it never lasts long, especially with this card leading up to it. So this is what you call badly aspected, this card. So that's why I go with the idea that this is a facade. So I feel like the facade of how things were and the world we were living in really, really takes a hit. And people will find it very hard in November to avoid truths, hard truths about this matrix that they're living in.
I love that. Yeah, it's time for that. We have to get to that point.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. Is there anything else you want to bring up today? You think of anything?
Not really. I mean,
No.
I just sending everybody support. My saying is I'm sending you ravens, and what I mean by that is I'm sending you love and support. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're going to need it, and we got to just stick together. And in particular, the truther community. I'm so glad you and I, honey, are doing this together. And even we got to spend some time, like in Ireland, and with
Yeah.
Abby, and all of those other, with Lisa, and all of those other wonderful people that we had in the household there. Like to me, it's like that support and meeting everyone in person was absolutely a real boost I needed. Seeing Mark Atwood, seeing all of those wonderful Irish truthers. Yeah, it's absolutely a fascinating time. And I'm still holding that as a positive energy going forward. It really lifted my, the last few weeks and going forward into or into November. It's lifted me. I'm still drawing from it.
Yeah, me too. It's beautiful when we all come together. Like it's great online, but when you get to be with your soul group or your
Yeah,
soul tribe, it's such a like affirming feeling and you get to feel each other's energy. That's why they didn't want us to stand close together
yeah,
all those years ago. So, I'm just like really happy that we got to do that.
yeah,
It was beautiful to see everybody, to watch everybody, and to hug everybody. All of that was fantastic. And I'm really happy that we're doing this too, because I feel like we're kind of bridging into this new world right now. And the two energies that we bring together are really doing that in a beautiful way. And I love that.
yeah,
We love you guys. So, all of you guys out there watching, you're a you're the biggest part of this. Like your energy is so helpful to everything, and that's why you're here. So I'm really grateful for everyone, and I'm grateful that we're doing this. And I think that everything is working out in a beautiful way, even if we don't completely understand it, and we don't really have to.
yeah. I agree with the we don't really like not everything is to be understood. And after years of reading clientele, like daily, I was a reader for years and years, like 30 plus years. Daily clientele, it was my day job. um, I feel like physically, when I was reading people, like before I went more online, it actually, the energy lift for the clientele was extra when you could literally meet them in person. And to me, it was like that is something we can't lose sight of. Physically, literally getting together with people, really important. And they did try to take that away from us. And we can't let that happen. Yeah.
No, they're defeated,
Yeah.
you know. So we won. So now we're just kind of figuring it out, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Beautiful. I love this, Janine. Thank you so
Uh,
much. I'm
thank
glad
you,
we got
honey.
to do this. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Now